Great, thank you everybody for coming back from lunch. We have our afternoon panel sessions now. The order of things this afternoon is welcome remarks, panel, coffee, panel, keynote, closing remarks, dinner. So I will try and keep things moving throughout. Before we come to our first panel, we have some opening remarks. First, from Beatrice Weder de Mauro from Graduate Institutes, INSEAD, and also, not least, as chair of CEPR. Beatrice.
Thank you, Tim. It is a real pleasure to welcome you very warmly to something that is a first. And it's not only one first, it's a many firsts. It's the first joint venture, joint conference that CEPR does together with AXA. AXA is also in many ways first for CEPR because AXA is the institution that was first in supporting the move of CEPR from Paris from London to Paris, the other way around, and has been a very important pillar of this move. It's the first conference of the newly created Climate and Environment Program Area, where the two program area directors, Patrick Bolton and Mauro, have collaborated to bring together the academic program as well as partly the policy panels that we are going to be hearing today. And this is, for me personally, a big thing, because CEPR has, and I myself reviewed this at some stage, CEPR has done a lot of work in climate, but it was spread all over the place in the different program areas. It did not come together. And in particular, we did not bring together the different streams that are important in order to address the topic, from energy policy to market design questions, core economic questions, to also the finance questions. And in this program area now, we have the two of them together. And this is also what you're seeing in this program, that we have both finance and more economics-based papers, and that these two groups are talking to each other. That CEPR has arrived in Paris, I think, this is one of the key of the key moments and milestones to mark our arrival in Paris. And by next year, it should be formal. The actual move of the headquarters will be made. And so Paris and our topic on climate and its repercussions, of course, Paris it's the right place to be. I've said that again and again. Arriving in Paris means also arriving in the Paris Agreement. And since Paris is the headquarters of thinking about climate change, and continues to be it, I want to say a few words about this too. And I want to quote from a very recent experience, actually yesterday, where I had the pleasure to hear Laurent Fabius and Robert Engel and Patrick Bolton discussing the question, why was the Paris Agreement successful? Successful in a very specific sense. Why was it able to change the whole discourse? There is a world before Paris Agreement and one after. Before that, COPs were failing. Since then, the COPs are growing, and there is the hope that the process might still converge towards something that is tolerable in terms of warming. So let me give you the three answers that those three grants of our world gave. So Patrick Bolton said, why did the Paris Agreement succeed? It is because it put participation and the participation constraint over incentives. So it made it important that everybody comes back on board all countries, and many, many countries did come back on board, were involved and could agree on this formulation of an international treaty. Laurent Fabius himself put it in these terms. It was because we had a number, 1.5 to 2. And we had a date. We had a time by when this has to be, by when the transition will have to be made. And Robert Engel agreed by saying Paris Agreement put the emphasis on quantities rather than prices. So we can all agree that the Paris Agreement has made a big difference. But I want to follow up on this theme of the quantities and how they matter. So for me, at one stage, and this is by now quite a number of years ago, I realized that there is one translation that is absolutely key to understand climate change. And this is just a translation of the quantity of warming, let's take 1.5, and the corresponding number of tons of CO2, or I'm talking about the carbon budget. And since then, I am obsessed with thinking about tons. Where are the tons? Is any of the interventions that you are suggesting going to change the number of tons? Is any of the papers' significant effects on some financial market going to change the tons of CO2? Yes or no? That's the question I will always be asking. And it's not always a fair question to be asking of a paper, of course. But it's the one that I think we cannot lose track of. Because at the end of the day, we have let's take 500 tons from the IPCC, which is the 50%, but that was 2020. The remaining carbon budget of 500 gigatons, and we have used at a rate of 40 per year, so we have about, you make the math, we are 2024, about 300 gigatons left. That's it in order to still stay within this budget. But even if we stay within the budget, we know that we will have, and we are already facing, a lot of warming and a lot of consequences of this warming, and this is where insurance will start playing an increasing role, already is playing an increasing role, and will continue to increasingly play an increasing role. So whenever I talked recently about the fact that we are having this panel, that we are working with AXA on a panel about insurability, I got a lot of interest. And I also see the interest here in this room, and therefore I want to make the way for the actual discussions to start. I thank you once again for being here and for your participation, and let's look forward to this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. And so I'd like to invite Ulrike Decoene from AXA. She's the AXA Group Chief Communications, Brand and Sustainability Officer, to make her opening remarks.
Thank you. I will be very short because I think we're all impatient to actually hear the debates and the panels. I want to reiterate Beatrice's words to welcome you. We're very proud to be partnering with CEPR on this first joint event. And very happy actually that so many brilliant minds have accepted to join and to help us think about what keeps us at AXA pretty busy and focused at the time, which is this challenge of sustainability as a challenge of insurability, right? As you see, I'm heading the sustainability function at AXA, and we are, since now a couple of years, we usually really combine the two words together, sustainability and insurability. Insurability, of course, for what we will be discussing today, the impacts of climate change, and how can we keep the contribution of resilience and protection that we bring through our business, how can it continue to hold? We also, this is not the topic today, but are working hard to make sure that this insurability also extends to people who today in emerging countries, but also in markets such as France, are more and more excluded from the protection that insurance can offer. So this is really the challenge that we want to work on in the next coming years as a responsible company. We're very proud to be here today with the AXA Research Fund. It's one of the most amazing initiatives that we have in this amazing group. I'm sorry, I've been with AXA for close to 20 years, so I'm not very objective. AXA Research Fund was founded over 15 years ago and has funded, it's the philanthropic initiative that supports science on risks, emerging risks, existing risks. It has funded over 700 projects for an amount of 250 million euros. And it's one of the most long-lasting initiatives that we have at the group. So it's great that we're very proud to support CEPR, but I think we are even more happy to have the opportunity to gather, as we will this afternoon, such brilliant researchers, practitioners, experts from AXA to really think together, collaborate on solving some of the pressing issues for which we on our own don't have a solution. So it's also our way to say we need to have risks, being studied and being worked on by a variety of professionals so that we can together find the solutions for tomorrow. So I don't want to stand in the way. Really, thank you very much. Thank you to all the panelists who have accepted to participate. We know the rentrée in Paris is extremely busy, so thank you for being here. It's an honor to be in Collège de France. I've studied for many, many years here in this neighborhood, but had never entered this incredible hall, so I feel extremely honored and very excited to listen to the discussions today. So thank you very much.